Welcome to the Krinzman Property Playbook, your inside look at South Florida real estate. I'm your host, Matthew Krinzman, bringing you real strategies, real insights, and real connections that help you buy, sell, and invest with confidence. With over 2 decades of experience as a licensed realtor and broker associate, I've watched South Florida grow from a quiet getaway to a global destination, and I'm here to help you navigate it like a pro. My business thrives on trusted relationships, with many of my clients being repeat and referrals. This podcast is brought to you by me, Matthew Krinzman, a One Sotheby's International Realty agent. For more info, visit buysellmiamire.com. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew Krinzman. I am the host of the Krinzman Property Playbook. And today I have Allegra Muzzillo on with me. And Allegra is a interior designer in the Florida Keys, which I am a little jealous, to tell you the truth. And you have an interesting background. You came from New York. You were working in the publication in the magazine business?
Yeah, in the publishing industry.
Yeah.
And then I segued into design work after that.
It's quite the segue. Yes.
I was writing for publications.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I was looking, I read your bio. You're originally from New York City. Now you live in the Florida Keys, which is obviously, we were chatting before, it's a huge difference.
Right.
And now you have, what's it called? You have your company called ACM Interiors.
Yes.
And
yep, those are the initials of my name. Yep.
Easy enough. And you run a boutique design studio in the Keys, and it's interesting what you do. Just fill me in on what you do as far as the design side. Just tell me, and everyone who's watching and listening what it is that you do as far as interior work down in the Keys.
So mainly, my focus is on vacation rental properties, and I help property managers, homeowners, and real estate investors create unique properties that are profitable.
Interesting. Okay, so unique properties that are profitable. I think we're going to key in on the word profitable for a minute or two here. I'm just curious, when we're chatting offline, just so you can tell us, the people who are watching, how did you switch from the publishing world in New York City to coming to the Florida Keys, when you told me 3 years ago, which is a relatively short time ago? What's the switch that made you say, you know what, out of New York, now I'm going to start out of publishing, I'm going to start interior design for vacation homes in the Keys?
So I worked in publishing for a number of years, probably over 15 years. That's what I was doing and what brought me to New York. I was writing and editing for Shelter Publications, big, huge names. You can name something. I probably worked there.
Vanity Fair.
Oh, no, but I haven't worked at Vanity Fair, but okay, there's others. But mainly I worked for Shelter Publications, and that kind of got me interested in creatively in design work. I've always been into it, and my mother was also an antiques dealer growing up. So I had that background to begin with, and then when I wrote about homes, I realized what made them unique, what told the story. And as I grew there, I stopped working corporate, and then I went freelance. So I wrote on my own for very different places, online publications, magazine publications, and the like. And then I opened eventually my own shop selling vintage furniture and home decor in Brooklyn, New York.
Interesting. So you started, you were on the path. It sounds like you.
Yeah, it was a natural, organic progression for me. It wasn't a huge step in another direction.
Interesting.
I know that happens with some people in interior design. They figure that their corporate life isn't satisfying, and then they go to the creative. Right. But I was always creative and always had my eye on homes and decor and things like that. Yeah, it was natural for me. And then I started doing my own projects from my store, and went from there. And then we decided 3 years ago to move to the Keys, just for a change of pace, a different quality of life. And we're super happy with it, and it's very different.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. There's no subways, there's no overcrowding of people. You have a little bit more elbow room down there, and sun.
For sure.
Yeah. You have a change of weather, that's for sure. And a change of lifestyle, that's for sure. I mean, the lifestyle change has got to be huge. I was telling you before, my wife and I, we like to go down to the Keys just for a day trip. And just that you hit Key Largo, and you get either if you're coming off, US 1, or you're coming off a Card Sound Road. It's just like all of a sudden there's a change. You feel it. Like, you feel
it's definitely slower paced here,
which is fine. It's just nice. Everyone has their pace. I like it. you just feel the weight lift off of you as soon as you come over the bridge. It's really nice.
Agree. Yeah.
So you have the background a little bit from your mother, and then you had your own shop, and then you come down to the Keys. You open up shop here. You open up ACM.
Yeah.
And so where do you find this niche in the short-term rental homes and properties? How did you find that niche? I'm curious. How did you get plugged into that?
So I neglected to mention, I should have mentioned, all while I was living in New York, my husband and I had different properties we Airbnb'd. So I've been an Airbnb host for, I think, 13 years
so you were
now.
like one of the first people in.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it from someone, funnily enough, at a bar way back when. And my husband and I were like, why don't we just do this? So we started renting out our place to tourists. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of different people from a lot of backgrounds, a lot of different countries come through, as people do in New York City. And that kind of, once I got down here, and we have a vacation rental property down here that we manage and own ourselves. We also have one in Massachusetts as well. So again, natural progression. I've designed that myself. It's profitable. It's got around 80% occupancy.
That's good.
Yes. So it's my decision to specialize is just, again, it's a natural one, and it's something I'm really comfortable doing and comfortable giving advice about. Down here, there are interior designers, and it's very difficult to get a foot in. So specializing is one way to differentiate myself in that way. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you got plugged in, and you got plugged into, obviously, you're down there, so you start making connections with other Airbnb hosts. Is that how you start building up the business?
So I'm burgeoning. My business is fairly new down here.
Well, 3 years still new. Yes, absolutely.
Well, I haven't been 3 years in business down here. It's only been about like a year. I'm building my framework. And yes, I do connect with fellow owners, property managers, real estate people, and that's an ongoing process.
You have to network with them. You have to get to know them. Obviously, do some door knocking, however you do, send out mailers or networking events, get on board, get on the chats and find people. And obviously get plugged in with the broker community, because the brokers, the agents down there are doing quite a bit of that kind of business. So that's obviously a great connection. Look, I know Sotheby's has an office, was an Ocean Sotheby's International Realty, which is, there's one it's at Tavernier. There's one office there, and they have in Ocean Reef.
We bought our house from Sotheby's.
I mean, there's other great offices too all around. There's like some great local brokers down there I've met over the last few years. I actually just had one come visit my office. She was on her way to Boca from.
Oh, cool!
So she came by and say hi. So you're doing this design work on the Airbnb. You're furnishing them. You said something before when we started, profitable. So let's talk about that. How do you make that profitable? How do you make the design profitable?
So there's so many different ways, and really the first way, if it's not your wheelhouse, if design is not something that you do, right? Sure. So there's ways to DIY things, but if you want things done fast, ideally you don't want an empty space. You want it as empty for as little amount of time as possible. You want to start making money immediately. Right. I would hire someone like me who can take care of everything for you, especially if you don't live down here. Many people have second homes here, and this isn't their residence. Right. People like me, I can help you if you don't live here, and I can take care of everything from start to finish. If you do want to have a little bit of a DIY, there are tricks to it. And design really is about having a plan. Being profitable through design is about having a plan and starting there. And many people skip over that. They just think right now it's no longer enough to just have a property and rent it out. You don't just automatically get guests. There's an algorithm. Yeah. There's so many different factors. And so really what you need are gorgeous photos. And that's really what's going to stop a potential guest in their tracks and make them book with you.
Interesting you say about the photos. Design, because that's always something for us real estate agents.
Yeah.
You want to spend a couple of bucks on the photos and make the place look good. You're not going to. Don't do it on your iPhone, people. Don't, or your whatever phone, or your disposable cameras. If they still even make those. Yeah, spend the money
professional
get professional
photos.
photos. Yeah, I like what you said there. That's important, obviously.
Yeah.
That's what catches the
And
eye.
Airbnb, yes. And Airbnb actually has a great plan where you can apply for a photographer to come and photograph your
Airbnb
space.
approved,
So
like, or affiliate.
yeah, so it's a
Yeah.
built-in service,
Yeah.
and it's very minimal. I think it's about $250 or
That's
something
not bad.
like that. So it's
Photos.
worth it. It's way worth it, and that'll pay for itself in your first booking.
Right. Yes, yeah, sure. Depending on what your booking rate is per night, 100% will pay you right back on that time. So you said there's there's like hidden profit leaks that you mentioned in our before, and what are those profit leaks? I'm interested to hear about that.
Yeah, so it goes back to having a plan and not having a plan, right? So the first is people make the mistake of buying furnishings based on cost alone. So they're just looking at cost, they just want to fill the space, they're not really concerned about quality, durability, and
I've
things
seen
like that.
yes.
But
Yeah.
anything that's flat packed, ready to assemble, and sold cheaply, like a $400 sofa, for example, on Wayfair, that kind of thing, they're referred to now as disposable furniture. Okay. So we're talking about them like paper plates.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not meant to last. They're not meant for heavy use. And they're certainly not meant for vacation rental properties where turnover is so high. And the stakes are really high too. So for you and for your guests, because down here, it's probably it hovers in Key West, 400 to 500 a night.
Wow.
During high season. You really want to make sure people are getting their money's worth, and they want it. They will expect a certain quality here. So that stuff is mass produced. It's literally produced for pennies on the dollar and then marked up an extortionate amount.
Yeah.
Okay, so that $400 sofa may cost $35 to make.
That's incredible.
It is incredible. So when you buy retail, all of this stuff is baked in. And now with the tariffs, it's just and this cheap furniture isn't going to be that cheap anymore either. So you really want to have a plan and go in educate yourself about pieces with proper warranties, spring for the extra warranty, go for solid wood, go for finishes that are fade resistant, moisture resistant. You're setting yourself up to lose money if you're buying that $400.
Because you're replacing it more often. The wear and tear is going to be far greater. Your replacement is obviously, but you're saying it's more often. So that's going to eat into its revenue.
Yes.
If I have to replace a sofa every year, but probably more, sounds like a $400 sofa, I'm going to be replaced more than once a year at this point.
So a sofa should last about 7 years, a good one, at least 7. So you're lucky if these last 7 weeks.
Wow.
And then not only are you talking about money, but you're talking about what happens when that sofa bed breaks and 2 people, during their stay, 2 people, they've lost a bed. The family has lost their kind of living room situation where they gather. How long will they be without a bed? Are they going to be on an air mattress? How long? When do you get in there to fix everything? When do you get in there to replace it? It's really a slippery slope, and people are not going to be understanding when they're paying for it.
No, when they're paying that kind of money, you expect a certain level of quality. I think when I go to a hotel and we're paying $500 a night, I expect the bed to be comfortable, the pillows to be really nice, the sheets to be clean, everything to be nice and organized, and no things aren't broken or you can see the wear and tear. You don't want to see that. You're right. The consumer is spending that kind of money. They should expect. I think they have a right to expect a level of quality that they're getting from spending that money. So the Airbnb host is spending. They're cheaping out. Let's say they're cheaping out, spending buying a sofa for $400. They're probably eating into their profit center at that point, like you said, because if it breaks, you have unhappy guests. That's going to affect their ratings. And that's going to affect them down the line. The algorithm will say, "Oh, look, hey, you went from 5-star now to 3-star. We're not going to post you up higher." These are things, obviously, that the hosts or anybody in the rental business and residential rental business should be aware of. Because people now everyone posts a comment, no matter what. The Yelp world, and the Airbnb, I know they have comments, advisors comments. Every site has a comment, good, bad, and different. and you want to have good because, like you said, it helps you on your ratings and it helps you on your bookings. So you're saying it's worth to spend the extra few dollars to get quality because you're not using it more often. It's lasting. When you said fabrics are a type of materials that they're being used for both the beddings and for furnishings and whatever else, in the Keys, is there a particular better? Is there something, fabric or type of material that's better?
So what I would do and what I would say to anyone down here is for your indoor and outdoor furniture, you want performance fabric. And performance fabrics are treated with stain fighters. They're treated with, again, fade resistors and other chemicals that make that. And also the structure of the fabric itself is such that it is very strong and won't degrade as quick as something that isn't performance grade.
Interesting.
So really look for performance. And I'm telling you, they've come a long way. This stuff is gorgeous now. They do so many things. There's patterns, there's colors, there's textures. So performance fabrics like Krypton, Sunbrella, those are two
How about
big
leather?
brands.
Just curious. Leather sofas.
So leather is but you have to think about wet bathing suits and sun cream and all of that.
I understand.
So that is something that will damage your leather sofa and stain it.
Okay.
Leather is great for pets though, but I would say if you're renting out a place, I'd skip that.
Good. Okay, that's good advice. That's good advice. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So, how can a host or someone who owns these short-term rental properties make their properties look like $1 million, but not spend $1 million?
So I would go back to the last hotel stay you booked and think about the room and how it felt to you and how everything looked inside it. There's 4 elements to it. There's proper scale. So the furniture has a rug that anchors the space. The furniture fills the space.
The rug. It sounds like a Big Lebowski move. Like at the top, the rug really tied the room together.
It tied the room together. And then there's the other prong is you want tailored pieces, things that are very streamlined and clean. You want upholstery that has tight seams, no tufting, no ornate scroll work on your furnishings. No doilies. Okay. And the third prong is cohesion and restraint. So when I say cohesion, the color palette is harmonious. And when I talk restraint, that means you're not filling the space with tchotchkes and you're showing restraint also with color because you want neutral color. You want to appeal to the masses. You do not want loud color. You don't want anything that's going to take away or confuse people from the experience they want to have. You want it high end. You want it lovely. And that's how hotels look. And that's why they charge you a premium. And then there's a fourth. Yeah. So the fourth is sense of place. A lot of hotels, first of all, they have designers designing the room down to the T, and they also buy artwork. And their artwork is always local. It's always some sort of piece or sculpture that was made locally or that kind of conveys that subtle sense of where you are. You're not at home. Now you're in the Keys. But I'm not talking starfish and sand dollars and all these things is my happy place. You just want neutral. You want to show restraint. You want to decorate for someone else, not necessarily for you and what you like. You want to step out and step into the shoes of your guest. That's what's going to make those 4 prongs plus that is going to make everything look high end. And again, AI is huge. So if proper scale and proportion, tailored pieces, all of that stuff is not in your wheelhouse, there's Siri, there is the Echo Dot, Alexa, there's ChatGPT. Plug in, measure your space, measure the room. If you're not sure what size sofa you need, plug in the measurements. My room is this. What size sofa do I need? Then you go to, I don't want to say Wayfair, but another online shop. Then you search for sofas only within those specs. So then it delivers to you sofas only your size. And it just makes things easier. It really levels the playing field. It also, AI will also tell you how high to hang a picture on the wall.
Almost right now. That's interesting. I haven't heard of that use yet for AI, but I've heard it.
It will tell you also how high your pendant lamps need to be from your kitchen island. it'll tell you all of those things. So it's really a new world. And again, it really levels the playing field for people who are coming at it like, oh my God, this is too much.
Right.
I don't have the money to hire someone and I want to do it myself. I would go to AI for a lot of those things.
Yeah, it seems like AI is levels of the field for the lay people,
Absolutely.
especially someone like myself or anyone really.
Yeah.
I would say in real estate, AI is starting to get a real foothold, especially on my side of the business. I'm not sure everywhere else. Same thing when you talk about design, that's something we hear that a lot, and we see the uses. All right, take the picture, render it. Now, especially for agents, when we're trying to if we staging a property, so that maybe the owner doesn't want to spend the money for staging, but we can now do fairly more easily than it was before when we actually had to hire someone to virtually stage. Now, like you said, AI
Right.
can do that very easily. Just give it the correct prompts, tell it what you're looking for, and it'll give you suggestions. And you can keep on refining it until you get to you know what, that's it. So you advocate, obviously, for the use of AI, even just to help in the design process for whatever.
Yeah, it's free.
It's free.
It's there.
Yeah.
And people just aren't aware of all of its capabilities.
100%. Yeah. It's not here to hurt you. It's a tool, and it's to assist. I think a lot of people get scared by that. Oh, it's going to take my job.
Right.
If you use it properly, and you use it to help or assist in your functions that you make your day-to-day life a little bit easier, or just to help design, it's one less thing. It's a tool in the toolbox, really. Again,
Absolutely.
People always forget that AI is dependent upon what you tell it and what information you give. So then it goes there and it's okay. Now I know. So it learns from you, but it's not. It's dependent on the input still, and whatever output's going to give to you. So I like that they use AI for helping design it. I find myself playing around with it. My wife is always playing around. Oh, this wall will look good. This thing, it's fun. And I think it gets people involved in the process in a way too. I think it helps. It gets you more involved. Now I'm a little more hands-on with the design. And
right.
So when someone reaches out to you and says, "Hey, Allegra, I have a home or I have a space or a condo in the Keys or wherever else," and say, "Hey, I want to get my home, this property ready for short-term rentals."
Mm-hmm.
How does that conversation proceed with you? How does that go? How do you get involved? Do you have an engagement letter? Do you have fees that are involved? Take us through that.
Sure. So if you were interested in hiring me, we would free phone call. It's about 20 minutes, and it's an intake process to assess whether we're a good fit. And then after that, you will get information about pricing, and I'll send that to you. And then we go from there once we're a good fit. As far as pricing overall, I think that I work with all budgets, I will say. I work with a flat fee.
That's good.
And I just basically, it's a really personalized process with us. I definitely tailor each design to the specific rental and the person's taste too. Let's face it, you don't want to buy something you absolutely hate. And I'm not going to ever force someone to do that. But I do a lot of the research. I know fabrics, I know brands, and it helps sometimes when you have a pro just to enlighten you. So you could hire me for a consultation where I go through the property for 90 minutes and I literally make you take your notebook out and take notes as I walk around the place. Like, this needs to be fixed. Paint this. It's super value packed, and it's 90 minutes, and that's great for realtors and real estate professionals and homeowners alike. So I can work with you that way. I can work with you in hourly packages where I just work on one issue you have. Or I could do everything from start to finish, which is
all the way.
Yeah, which is the initial idea to the final execution. So it's guest ready and able to be moved ready for photos and able to be moved.
Right.
Into.
I guess from the project management side, if you're taking it from soup to nuts, let's say that. Yeah, especially for someone who's an owner or host who's not local, that's very helpful.
Yeah.
The last thing someone wants to do is have to worry about, I got to go down the Keys, I got to take care of this, or I got wherever your property is. Let's just say it's in Timbuktu even. to have a professional to manage it for you is a real. It's a game. It helps. It's a peace of mind. It's worth to spend a few bucks. I'm all for that. It just helps. I think you're helping. Obviously you're helping. So do you find a lot of times that the hosts and the owners will push back on some of your design choices, or they're like, hey, you know what, Allegra? Great. The communication, the give and take on that.
Yeah, there's always a conversation. I'm never closed off. I will hear the client out. Right. People have varied issues, and I'm open to hearing them. But at the end of the day, I think you're hiring me for a reason, because you trust me, you trust my taste, you trust my knowledge, and you trust that I'm going to steward your budget in the appropriate way.
I like that. Budget. Yeah. I like that line. Yeah. That's a good line.
Yeah. Yeah. Good. So, yeah. And if you're an absentee owner, meaning it sounds negative, but you're just not here, you don't live here, you really do need someone you
100%.
Trust. Because there are a ton of property management companies down here, and I really question whether they actually do anything.
Right.
So you really need to have a property manager who is dialed into your needs, who's not just going to walk through your place and check off a list and say everything's fine and move on, and then they're just putting out fires because they have 300 properties. It's really not where you want to be. Right. You feel like a number. It's not good.
Do you ever get it? Do you get into the property management side, or do you have you're just like, hey, this is who I recommend. I've heard great things, good experiences. Is that what you do? Yeah, I'm sure the question comes up for you.
Sure. I have had that. People ask me about that, and if I do it, I'm toying with the idea. My husband actually comes from a construction background. Perfect. So he has a lot of experience in property management, but we are a little reticent to get involved in that because of the responsibilities.
Understand.
That entail.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah.
For us. It would really have to work for him and us. And so we're not sure. And honestly, I'm so new here, I wouldn't know who to refer as a property manager. I've tried to make a lot of inroads with property managers, but there's been a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of, no one, it's very weird. It's word of mouth down here. And you really just need to get in front of people however you can.
Gotcha.
So I have ideas of who is reputable, but I would need to vet them more.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the conversation has to come up in conversation at some point. I would imagine, not maybe, but at least I would say 50% of the time it has to come up.
Yes. Yeah.
So do you ever, that's what I'm looking for, do you ever have to design around complaints that guests may give? Because I'm sure this Minnie Mouse themed room wasn't really working for me as a guest. You ever get those? Obviously, I'm sure there's complaints, but how do you turn those complaints into, okay, we got you. Now we're going to make this better?
What I would say is no one's really going to ding you for the wrong color or the Mickey Mouse bed, but if there's a larger problem, they will mention the Mickey Mouse bed. So that said, most guest complaints and how to get ahead of them, you want to get ahead of them, right? You don't see them coming, so you want to get ahead of them. Most complaints are 4 categories. They're comfort issues, they're functionality issues, they're maintenance lapses, and they're ease of stay issues. So
let's go through them.
Comfort, bad mattress, cheap chairs,
bad pillows,
walls, noisy appliances. Those are comfort issues. Okay. Functionality is how the space is working for them. Do they have hooks for their wet towels? Do they have kitchen storage? Are the outlets nowhere near the beds so they can't charge their phones at night? Those are issues. So then there's maintenance stuff. There's the moldy vents. There's the outdoor furniture that's busted. Those
dirt issues or stuff like that. Well,
right.
I guess 30. Yeah, 30. That's definitely. I would
burnt out light bulbs, things like that. And then the ease of stay. How easy is it for them to move about your space, and how easy was it for them to just have a great vacation? Was there nowhere to unpack or store suitcases? Was there inadequate lighting in the kitchen so they couldn't see them cutting for prep work? Those 4 categories are mainly what people complain about. And I have a fix for that. And this may not work so well for absentee owners, but at some point, an absentee owner buys a property and they're there buying the property. So what you need to do is you need to stay overnight. and you need to go through your property. You need to sleep in the bed. You need to unpack your suitcase. You need to turn on the lights.
You need to try it out yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. And anything that comes up for you will be crystal clear, and it will definitely come up for your guest. So make a list. Go through with your notepad. You get a punch list going. Here's what's broken. Enlisted in order of priority. Broken things that need to be replaced, things that need to be purchased, and go in order and just tick things off your list as you go. Go down the list. And that's the easiest way to get ahead of these 4 types of complaints that people regularly complain about.
Gotcha. So that's part of like the bonus kind of working with you is you understand these issues. You understand these 4 issues that can come up or have you go see a property. Like you could how we avoid this happening. And I like about functionality, being able to move throughout the property. I think you mentioned it earlier. It's not to clutter up the space. You want to keep it nice and neat, and you don't have to over furnish.
One way to easily tell if your space isn't functioning for your guest is to, when you go for the turnover, obviously many people don't clean their own places, but if you do and the furniture's been moved around, take note of where that chair went. Take note of where the sofa is now. That's the way it was working for those guests. Think about maybe there is something.
Maybe
to
there's
this.
something in their function way with how they felt the room worked for them.
Yeah.
So maybe the sofa against the wall now in the mid more somewhere else spaced off somewhere else. Maybe you know what, this guest was onto something.
Maybe it works better there.
Interesting. So it takes sometimes watch the design, get some design cues from what the guests are doing.
Right.
Interesting. So when you do the work and the design work, do you also do the furnishing? Meaning, like you help them acquire, or select the cutlery, the glassware, the flatware, things like that. Do you help with that, the process with them as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So those are add-on services to a full service project. So I have a linen package, I have a kitchen package, and I have an outdoor furniture package. And those could be used in any other type of project as well. When you're wanting me to handle everything start to finish, it's usually someone who's not from here, and they do need everything. They need that whole kitchen outfit with cutlery and pots and pans.
So I was curious, so where you are down in the Keys, how do you do your ordering? Do you do it mostly online, or is there enough retail or shops in the Keys that you can go directly to and buy from?
So the answer to that is that I do most of it online. There are a few shops down here that I may frequent, but there are several really huge. Rooms to Go is very big down here, and I don't know if that is not high end. That is not.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rooms to Go fits a need. That's for sure. It's like it's a middle.
If you broke your sofa bed, maybe I would say get Rooms to Go because there's no other. But why is your sofa bed breaking?
Spending on quality.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are places down here, and all that furniture from I don't want to name companies or anything like that, but there are several big ones that do most of the business down here because we're so remote, and everything's from China. Everything comes again in that cheap realm, where there's a lack of quality control. There's a lot of variety in the quality of certain pieces and fabrics and stitching and things like that. It's just not high end. They may charge you a high-end price for it, but it's not quality.
Understand. That's interesting. In addition to something also about making some of the spaces that reflect the area that they're in, and artwork or little things like that. Do you have the Keys driving down from Key Largo? Like I said, my wife will usually just get to Isla Morada, but we know there's a few places on the side there that have some nice, I guess, pieces or artwork or that kind of fit that Key West, the Florida Keys vibe. Is there anything you find there from the local artisans and folks like that?
Absolutely. Isla Morada, now that you mentioned Isla Morada has a huge art scene. Yeah. And so there's something that they do every Thursday, and every last, I don't know exactly what it is. It's called the Morada Way Art Walk.
So it's probably once a month they do it.
And all the businesses open up late, and they stay open, and there's food and lots of different stalls and things, and it's all local. And that is really where you can meet artists. There's a ton of galleries. You can meet the artist, you can buy, you can take pictures, you can use it as research, or again, buy directly. There's pottery, there's painting, there's so many different things. There's fabric, like pillows and things like that, decorative items. You won't want to go overboard, but yeah, that's an easy way to meet local artists. And in a lot of areas of Florida and everywhere else, in where my parents live in Myrtle Beach, they do have these art walks, and that is a great way to familiarize yourself with local artists and inject some flavor into your rental.
I like that. Help support the local community in that respect.
Absolutely.
And I think it's
authentic.
It's nice. It's nice to, and it gives obviously like you said, the authenticity to the space, to the area. Hey, I'm the Keys. I don't really expect to serve New York City. In the room, I would say more tropical feel, beachy colors, more colors, I would as well. Just, is there, you don't have to tell me, but is there a local artist or a local art shop that you really prefer down there, or you like to peruse?
So I've found, I actually really, this kind of, I don't know what it's called, but it's a Japanese technique. It's not new. And there's someone in Islamorada who does it. Basically, you catch a fish, and then she uses these vegetable dyes that are food safe, and dips the fish, and then makes a print of your fish on paper, and then frames it. Yes, and then she also has prints too, so you can just buy one. You don't have to catch a fish, but you know what I'm saying. Very beautiful, and they come in all different sizes. And I think it's great for a rental down here. There are also in Islamorada some people who make pillows that I really enjoy. I just can't think of their names to give them a shout out, but I think Lisa Lee is the Japanese artist. She's not Japanese, but she does that technique.
Got it.
And there's potters and people who make sculptures. There's a place here on Big Pine. There's art galleries in every key.
Yeah, there is. I noticed that.
There are in all over Florida. Yeah.
No, I've noticed that. Just put a little bow on all this. Give me just your bullet points when someone's reaching out to you, Allegra, and saying, hey, I want to engage. Just go through the process. Just give us your quick do's and don'ts. And then how, if you have some kind of material information that someone can get from you. I think you mentioned you have this little freebie PDF that you have out there. Yeah. So let's wrap it up. Give us your bullet points.
Yeah. So if you want to start a project, or you just want to have a telephone call, you can go to my website, which is acminteriors.com. You can go to my contact page. It's right up there in the main menu, and you can fill out a form. You can also schedule directly a phone call with me there. And if you want to know more, if you want some kind of actionable advice, things you can readily do right now, you can DM me at ACM Interiors on Instagram with your email address, and I'll send you this PDF. The PDF is 7 design mistakes sabotaging your vacation rental property and how to fix them. And it's full of ideas, and it's valuable to property managers, homeowners, and investors.
That's great.
It absolutely has something for everyone, and it's free.
Well, people love, they do love that. They love free advice. Something you give, something that's actionable for free. That's great. Yes. I like the idea is also, hopefully it would build some goodwill for you with the people who are doing that. And hey, Allegra, I really want to work with you on help me design my rental property, my Airbnb, so I can be a number one host in the Keys. Just one quick, any design preference? What do you see in the design world? I know I've had a couple designers on before. What's starting to become a little more to the forefront as far as design you're seeing?
Specifically in vacation rentals?
Just in general, or specifically in vacation rentals, or in general?
Okay, let me think about the best way to answer this. So I think maybe what I see a lot, and to me looks really, it can be great or it can be really weird, is like the accent wall with the neon sign and the fake ivy,
I see that.
Instagrammable moments. I think that you should have Instagrammable moments, but unless you have a huge place that kind of caters to bridal parties and things like that. I don't know that you need a huge wall like that in your home or outside of your home if you're just renting to a family. I think a lot of people think it just needs to be so contrived, and I don't necessarily think if you're just renting to families and people who like to fish, that is something that they'll be doing. So it may be a waste of your resources and time.
That's good.
Do you have specific ideas about stuff you've seen?
Well, I think you actually just mentioned the Instagrammable wall. That's one. I see a lot of...
I think you need moments, just not necessarily like a huge neon, this is the place.
Right. I'm personally, I like traditional. I'm a traditionalist, as far as how I like places.
Same.
But, I'd seen on some of the Airbnb stuff, some really wacky, crazy stuff. So I probably not this. It doesn't work for me. Maybe it works some other places. But like you said, an Instagrammable wall maybe not make sense.
Yeah, and I think Instagram's moving away from that diary aspect too.
Yes.
Like people they're losing interest in people who post their meals.
Oh, that's
for example, post family moments and things like that. I think people are using Instagram more now for business, and they're just using it differently. You're not, and unless you cater to teens and tweens and again bridal parties and big parties. I wouldn't stress these Instagrammable moments anymore. I did once, but now I'm moving away from
it. All right, that's good. All right, so how do people find Allegra?
You can find me very easily on Instagram, which is I'm at ACM Interiors. You can find me on my website. It's acminteriors.com. And that's where I am primarily. And if you contact me, I'll get back to you within the day.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah.
All right, and everyone don't forget, Allegra has the 7 design mistakes sabotaging your vacational rental property PDF.
Absolutely.
It's for free. Reach out to Allegra. You can it can apply to anywhere, really, I think, as far as information goes. And if you're in this business, I think this is good information. And what you talked about, the profit leaks, which is, I love that. That was very good. And I hope someone at least whoever's listening to this or watching this has a good takeaway from that.
Oh, I hope so too.
Because that's important. I like what you said there on that. And spending a little bit extra for them on the property and the materials,
quality
adds the value, and it also doesn't take away from your revenue at the end of the day because you're not replacing it as often. So I really like that, and how to make a place look high end without spending $1 million to do it. Those are all things I think that a lot of the hosts are striving to do. Not spend $1 million, but look like $1 million and hopefully earn $1 million in the process.
Yes. Exactly.
Anyway, Allegra, it was a pleasure having you on. Maybe next time I'm down the Keys, I'll give you a shout.
Oh, I love that.
And hopefully if there's anything I can do for you, maybe make some connections for you. I'm always happy to try at least put out the name to some of the agents I know down that way. And if you have anything up this way or you need anything else, please feel free to reach out. Today, if you're watching this, you enjoyed Allegra, get in touch. I know Allegra can probably help you out a lot in your design. And share a comment, share with your friends, hit the follow, hit the subscribe button for us. I'm your host, Matthew Krinzman, with the Krinzman Property Playbook. And today I had Allegra Muzzillo with me of ACM Interiors. And thank you again for listening in and watching. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's it for today's episode of the Krinzman Property Playbook. I hope you've gained some valuable insights and feel inspired to take your next steps in the real estate game. If you're ready to make a move or need expert guidance, let's connect. Whether you're buying, selling, or looking to invest, I'm here to help you navigate the South Florida market with confidence. You can reach out to me directly through my website or on social media. Let's get the conversation started and make your real estate goals a reality. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on the Krinzman Property Playbook.